back, you're watching Storyboard. How do you make marketing commercial vehicles exciting and transformational? How do you bring a B2C approach to B2B marketing and disrupt the category codes? Telling us about the key points in Tata Motors' strategy to overhaul and transform how commercial vehicles are marketed in India, we have Shubhranshu Singh, Vice President Marketing, Domestic and IB Tata Motors, in a conversation with Dilshad Irani. Singh sheds light on how the auto major is driving change, digital transformation and creativity in the category.
Hello and welcome to Storyboard18, Shubhranshu. I'm delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dilshad. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to kick off by asking you straight up, essentially, what are the key points in your strategy in terms of marketing commercial vehicles?
Our strategy is to strengthen the mother brand and make sure each of the respective power brands within the portfolio contribute back to our brand equity. And also to make sure that there are commonalities which are apparent to consumers. Whether it be in the area of quality, cutting-edge innovation, servicing the requirements of consumers, accessibility. These are things we want very strongly tied to our brand proposition. And of course, our endeavor is to increase both the mental and the physical availability. So in the last year and a half, we have made very concerted efforts to reach our consumers digitally, try and get a more vibrant social community going, and also to increasingly digitalize our business, both in terms of the accessibility as well as the richness of data and the envelope of services that we can bring purely digitally.
Can you share with us perhaps an example of a marketing initiative that truly exemplifies the strategies that you're putting in action, and also the direction in which you think marketing and marketing initiatives should go in for you in the future?
Sure. So in the last year, in fact, as recently as September of last calendar year, we did 2 mega launches. One was across the portfolio for trucks. We had as many as 14 launches on the day. And then subsequently at the end of the month, we did a launch in Hyderabad for our pickups range. Firstly, a lot of the pre-launch understanding was developed through consumer insight building, meeting real consumers, also rejectors of our brand, also intenders and those who adore other brands, so that we are able to give our campaign many more legs. Secondly, we did a broadcast. So we did a hybrid launch. It was a physical launch, but we also did broadcast, and we publicized that broadcast. So we get many different stakeholders into the mix. It's not only about the fleet owners and the vehicle buyers, but also financiers, our own dealers, our vendor partners, and so on and so forth. And then critically, we have experimented throughout this year with influencers, national influencers, micro and nano influencers, carrying our messages in local languages, and trying to do that with the context of that specific city, that particular district, that given taluka. Now, what that helps to build is relational familiarity. So if I'm talking about carriage of fisheries products, and I'm talking to shrimp farmers in coastal Andhra Pradesh, if I'm talking to them in their tongue, if I'm talking to them in Telugu, if the influencer who's talking to them has been there, done that, and if I'm able to give enough testimonials for people like them, then it just builds a richness of texture. So it gets picked up and digested that much easier.
Tell me about sort of the switch that had to happen. What are perhaps a few challenges to making that switch at Tata Motors, and especially when it comes to commercial vehicles, when you switch to a more of a B2C approach to how you sort of market your brands and vehicles in the commercial segment?
My submission is that there is not a vast difference between the way in which a brand ought to be built for business to business marketing versus a business to consumer marketing. You see, the thinking behind B2B, stereotypical thinking around it is that these are rational consumers, they are experts, they have been there, done that. So if you're buying industrial chemicals or machinery or components and so on, the brand has a subsidiary role to play. But if you go back to the basics of what a brand stands for, right, to create a memory structure, to be viably differentiated, to stand for a promise, to be a hallmark and a sign of quality. All of these things are, in fact, more applicable in B2B than perhaps even in B2C. Secondly, the way in which the brand plays out in a business to business environment has many more stakeholders, whether it is regulatory agencies, finance partners, service partners, manufacturing partners, and so on. So we are addressing the brand as a bearer of many more inputs than just a consumer packaged kind of a goods environment. Last but not the least, you will see this duality. If you talk of some of the most powerful brands in the world, whether it's a Microsoft or an Intel or an IBM or a SAP, all of the, or Dow or 3M or DuPont, all of these are powerfully B2C, but also in terms of revenues and profitability, substantially B2B. And in many parts of our portfolio, we have all three models. So, for example, the small commercial vehicles business, which is it's the largest volume business in our portfolio. There, the choices are very B2C for the most part, and the largest number of vehicles on the road are owned by first-time users. So they are driver entrepreneurs. If you go up the chain, when we're talking to key accounts, they are humongous corporations in their own rights. So that follows a B2B and a more CRM-oriented modality.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you, Dilshad.
And now it's time for this week's notice board. Jio Cinema kicked off its Tata IPL campaign titled Digital India Ka Digital Tata IPL, starring cricketers MS Dhoni and Surya Kumar Yadav. The core idea of the campaign was to excite viewers about catching the tournament for free on Jio Cinema and showcases some of the numerous features such as 4K streaming, 12 languages, 17 unique feeds, multicam presentation, interactivity through stats pack and play along feature that fans will be able to access only via digital. Let's take a look.
देखो अपना टाटा आईपीएल देख तो रहे डिजिटल टाटा आईपीएल.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.